Well, we're going to yank these shoes. It's been a month. I put shoes on 5/28 and it's 6/29 today. So let's make an observation here. This is how his foot is, well, probably 90% of the time. Dirt compaction. So anybody that says anything about, the frog not getting ground contact or anything, we're looking at percentages here. 90% of the time, this horse is like this. I pick his feet out every day, but before you know it, he's packed with dirt again, and so 90% of the time he's like that. So even if I did want to ride him down the road, I always clean his feet out every time. So that's a small percentage of the time that he doesn't have full frog contact. Going down a solid road, he's not going to get any at all. So yes, there's a percentage of the time that frog isn't going to make contact, but the higher percentage of the time he's getting frog contact. So here I'm going to address one other issue first, before I go any farther. You get all kinds of people making comments on YouTube. But here's the thing I have a problem with. People so-called stating facts as they know them. False names. YouTube, there aren't many people on there that are using their real name and not showing anything. So you got these people that love to run around and make comments when you look and, oh look, it's Yosemite Sam, or Wile E. Coyote. Who the hell gives a crap? If you're not using your real name, your identity, and some information that you have up there, I really don't give a rat's ass. And the other way I look at it, YouTube has a wealth of information out there. Not all of it's true, and you may not like everything that somebody puts out there. Well, to me, it's like a public library, except for it's public videos. You don't walk into a library, pick up a book, and start cussing up and down, throw the book on the floor, jump up and down on it because you don't like what that person wrote in that book. You're asked to get shown the door, and you probably get a kick in the ass to show you which way is out. People's morals and values nowadays are really gone to hell. So, if you come here, this is my classroom. I'm teaching what I know to be facts and reality, and how you deal with some of these horses. A lot of people put videos up of one horse, and I don't know because I don't follow, but a lot of what I've seen, you'll see that one horse one time. Whereas most of the time I show you horses that are having problems, and I'm going to show you in a series, unless I get sick of the comments that I hear, of how and what kind of progress we're making, and percentages of what's happening. This is what you call an unperfect world. Yeah, in a perfect world, I showed you and talked to you about a healthy horse and what'll happen. But what do you do with the 75% of them that are not healthy and can't do that? Well, I'm showing you what I'm doing for this particular horse. So, all those people, I call them, stupid comments. That's the way I look at it. People have no morals or no values anymore. Even if you walked into someone's classroom and you interrupted the teacher saying blah 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 blah, you'd get shown the door. If If you're that smart, start your own damn class. Hell, we'll all be there. Alright, so let's get on with this. So right off, what we want to do is make some quick observations as to what we see. So just get that adjusted, and let's look at how much hoof wall we've got. He actually has a fair amount of hoof wall. I'm not going to waste my time and put the hoof straight up, but I'm just going to make some quick observations here. So right here in the heel area, I could see this hoof is overhanging the shoe, which it wasn't a month ago, and it's on both sides. It's actually a little more on this side than the other. The other observation I'm going to make is here, where that exits, how much distance I have from here to the heel, which is quite a lot on this foot. The frog is peeking out, which is just telling me that he's getting too far off the ground with his frog. His frog is reaching for even more pressure, so that's why I won't leave him in. The other thing is, this is just the back side of my knife. It's got a little hook on here. See? I'm scratching, and it's chalky. You know, I mean, geez, I got a good, almost a quarter of an inch there, and I'm still at chalkiness. So, that, you know, you make your observations first, and then you move from there. So I'm going to pull the shoes, and I'm going to clean them up. Alright, so again, you know, I yanked the shoe. I'm going to make a couple observations. So you can see right here is where the front edge of his bowl is, right here. Right? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this off and find my true depth here. And then from there I'm going to bring it out to this bowl. So I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. I'm dangerous with a knife, so I have to put gloves on. So like I said, the first thing I want to do is find out where reality is here. Cut the apex of that frog off. Just sweep across the front. I know someone's going to make a comment that I should sharpen my knife, and I should. I actually have a couple sharp knives right in my box. So, you know, again, I check my flow from here down to the apex, because here's where my dirt line ends, right there, and that's where, you know, the bars terminate here. You know, if you need to, you come in here, cuff that off. There's clean sole. So I'll just go ahead and nip them and clean them up, and I'll show you the end result. So here's one more observation I'll show you. That, you know, I pointed out to you before that his hoof wall was overhanging on this side, right? And you couldn't quite see this side, but I told you this side was overhanging more than this side. So here's a perfect observation. What you see in your frog. See, I'm going to trim this frog down so that it's at heel height, right? So I'm only going to take a little bit off of this side, because here's what I want you to see. This side, see, it's not as peaked out as that side. That side is peaked out more, and it's actually above that heel higher. So I'll actually trim this side a little bit more than the other side. but I'll just cut it off so that it's flush it at heel height. Same thing with this. And I generally don't mess with this too much right in here. This is what I like to call the heart of the frog. So I don't bother with that too much unless it's really showing where it wants to slough off. Then I will trim it. You know, and I'm just going to scratch the inside here, scratch some of that chalkiness off, trim this little flapper here because of the way the frog was reaching for ground. So that, trim these little tabs off. And that's it. But I'm going to run my rasp across here, take that chalkiness off so that shoe, and I'm going to clean the shoe up, and I'm going to show you, we'll see, does that shoe still fit the same way that it did originally. So you can see I ran my rasp across the front edge of the sole here, just take off that little bit of chalkiness. I'm going to put this shoe right back where it belongs. And that's where I'm going to put it on. Now I check the shoe for flatness and all. So, see, you know, all that hoof growing down. And I'll show you here. See, here's where the bulge. See how the white line is actually widened out in the front edge? That's all that bulged lamina. So, you know, I trim them, and what I'm doing is pulling that shoe back so that it's back underneath them again. And I'm going to nail it right there. Perfect. So I wanted to make sure I showed you the left front because that's the hoof I showed you primarily last time. So a couple other observations that I didn't point out to you. I mean, I did point out the stretching of his lamina right here and right here, right? So, I mean, you just make a comparison as to what you see side to side even. This one on this side is actually wider. So he has a little more bulging on this side than he does right here. That and the collateral groove. I know this is hard to explain and you'd actually have to view it from here, but the collateral groove is going up and then it gets to here and then it goes straight. See, it's more flat from here to here, then it starts to go down, and you see that this is where the bars had protruded to before. And, you know, the depth of concavity isn't as much as I would like to see, but it's time to reset those shoes because his foot is actually still advancing forward, which I don't want to see. I want to see it more growing down, and that's in my video, what is proper hoof growth. I know I didn't show you how much I trimmed on him, but I can tell you I trimmed more from here to here, and then once I started getting up here, there wasn't as much. So proper hoof growth, you would have wanted to be from here trimming a pretty, you know, a fairly even amount, a little more towards the back, but there was quite a lot more growth back here from here to here, and that's just proof that he's using the back of his foot because you grow what you stimulate. But I also wanted to see, you know, I didn't want to see it right to here. I wanted to see the hoof growth out to here. See, I hardly trimmed anything from here to here. Just kissed off the front face of the sole. So, you know, once again, what I'm primarily doing, I trimmed them because I don't want that much hoof growth, And what I'm going to do is pull the shoe back underneath him. Because if his foot is still growing forward, I don't want to allow it to keep growing forward. And it was getting too tall. So I trim them, and then I bring the shoe back where it belongs. And that's where I'll set that shoe. I'll take this bulge off. You can see that it starts to bulge right here. But see? And that's why I pull it back, because I want to stay with this bowl. I don't want to be following this flared lamina out there. So that's where I'm going to set the shoe on him. Is right there. And I'll have to take this bulging off before I do, but there you have it.